Hey wild things, welcome back. This is Cypris Wild, and today we're going to talk about a very sensitive, private issue. Those of you who are owned by cats, or even those of you who are living with dogs, are very familiar with the little presents that they leave us every day in the litter box or on the side of the sidewalk. And as responsible pet owners, what do? How do we clean this up? Like many people, for years and years I've always used plastic bags from the grocery store, and it's not ecologically responsible to do that, and so I've been looking for a solution. It's just the plastic bags were so cheap, and I'm such a cheap person. Well, thrifty, right? Thrifty is the polite word for that. So as a thrifty person, it was just so much easier to use something I already had in a full supply without having to pay money for such things. Only it turns out there really is a cost with the plastic bags because they're hard to recycle. Most of them don't get recycled, and they end up in the water and binding up the digestive systems of marine mammals, and that is really bad. We're killing the ecosystem, and we've got to be more responsible, right? So I've been looking for a solution. The litter that I've been using is supposed to be septic safe, and that may very well be the case. However, my septic system was built at the latest in 1972. It is grandfathered in. Yikes. I don't want to put any more strain on that septic system than absolutely necessary. So my solution is to compost. And no, it's not the food compost. There's a difference. Cat feces do not go on food compost. I have a separate compost for bad compost, naughty compost. And I don't want to smell the stuff in my house between compost visits. And while it would probably be really good for my thighs to hike it up to the compost pile 3 or 4 times a day, I don't feel like the motivation is there. And I am hoping that these Eco Clean brand waste bags are going to help me out. The brand name is Eco Clean, and the name is dog poop bags. And the first thing I want to say about this is I'm kind of offended at how speciesist this is. Really? Cat people don't need something to do with their litter box? They need bags. They need bags. And Eco Clean, what are you doing? Ignoring more than half of your potential customer base by only marketing to dog owners. But I couldn't find any that were more inclusive, so this is the only one on Amazon that I found. It didn't look very, very hard, but this is the only one that I found that was actually biodegradable. And I want to draw attention to that biodegradable because a lot of bags, name brand waste bags that we're not going to name names, claim to be earth-friendly. Earth-friendly is the term that they use. And from what I can tell, earth-friendly just means that the cardboard that it comes in is recyclable, and that the bags themselves are made out of recycled plastic, but they're not biodegradable. So we're kind of back to square one. So watch out for the term earth-friendly. It's nice, but I don't think it's doing enough. So these bags, 16 rolls that these come in. And they just look like this. And there's 240 bags total in the box. Here's the one. I've been working on these for a week now. And this is what's left of the roll. There's one left on here. And I, like I said, change the litter, or not change, but clean the litter out about 3 or 4 times a day when I'm home. Because, you know, keeping it clean. So, let's see, 16 rolls at a week a roll is going to be, what, about every 4 months that I need to resupply at $15 or $16 a piece. I think that is worth it for the peace of mind if these turn out to be biodegradable. Now, the box claims that these are strong and durable, and so far I have found that to be the case. In fact, they are strong and durable and waterproof enough that I am a little skeptical about whether they're actually biodegradable. So I will be really interested to see what happens over the next few weeks with these bags. So they're actually fairly easy to open. They're easier to open than the produce bags at the grocery store, and you sit there and you're like, and like people are starting to stare at you, and you just want to put your tomatoes in the bag. So, of course, I'm going to recommend a scoopable litter, because why would you go with something more messy if you don't have to? And then I just tie them off. They're long enough that they tie off real easy. Just like that. And then this is my bucket, my compost bin for the bad, the naughty compost. And so I have just been dumping it in here. And I have been keeping this out on the back porch because, you know, some smells are going to leak through. See? Whoo! Sorry, I'm glad you can't smell this. But let's dig down to a week ago. Where are some of the first bags that I got put in here? It does smell like the zoo a little bit, or like the cat house at the zoo. It smells like the cat house at the zoo. I wonder why. So I am not yet seeing, this is so gross. I am washing my hands immediately after this. But I am not seeing any sign after a week that these bags are breaking down. It doesn't say anywhere on the box or on the Amazon description how long these are supposed to take. I was going to give them 30 days, so another 3 weeks from now. But, wow, you can get used to any smell, can't you? I am suspecting it's going to take longer than 30 days, so I will check back after 30 days. So that's 3 more weeks from now, and probably give it a lot longer. I may even take some of these outside into the dirt to see if that helps. And we will see if these are actually biodegradable. So let's fast forward to 3 weeks from now. Okay, so it has been a little over 30 days since I started using the biodegradable bags, and I'm not so sure they're biodegradable. They've been in the bucket for most of that time, and I am not seeing any evidence that these are starting to break down. They stink because of their contents, but they seem like they're still waterproof even. So I'm getting a little skeptical on the claim that these are biodegradable. So I have thrown them out in a spot on the side of the yard. And I'm going to check back in another 30 days to see if having them outside does any difference, makes any difference. But it's not looking real good at this point. So we'll see. So stay tuned. We'll check back in another 30 days. Okay, it has been 60 days, almost on the nose, and I'm back out here behind the house, and we're gonna see, are these things composting? Alright, doesn't look a whole lot different from last time, except that there's more now. But this is the older pile, and you can see some of the bags have been gotten into by little beasties because the litter is corn based, not clay based, so despite the cat litter in there, they think this is a really cool food supply. So I'm going to grab a couple of these and we'll compare with a more recent one and talk a little bit about the research I did on these bags. Back inside, I have brought in a couple of the oldest specimens. Yes, I did. This is how devoted I am to getting the scoop on this for you. This is fresh from today, and these are about a day short of being 60 days old. And you can see that the quality of the plastic is a little different. For lack of a better word, this is smoother and perkier and a little brighter looking, more pliable. And these are looking a little stale. That could just be from being burnt in the sun. They still look kind of waterproof, those that have not been torn apart by little animals to get at the corn in here. I'm going to have to wash my hands about 80 times after this. So while they look like they're starting to break down, they really do not look like they're biodegradable. They look like a shopping bag from the store that's been flying around a parking lot for a month or two, right? They don't look green. But I did some research. I went back to Amazon and looked at the listing for this product, and not on the box, but on their listing on the website, they claim to be what's called ASTM D6400 compliant. Yeah, it didn't mean anything to me either. So I did some further looking around, and the plastics that these are made out of are made by EPI. And if you go to EPI's website, they explain the criteria, is it a Greek word? On the EPI website, they explain that the plastic that is ASTM D64, I will put this in the description, I promise. ASTM D6400 compliant has to break down within 180 days for it to count as compliant. And that is 6 months before this stuff has to be broken down. It looks like it's beginning to a little bit, but it's still got 4 months to go. So I have no reason to suspect that the manufacturers of this, the manufacturers of the plastic, that they are lying about being compliant with that regulation. But the question is it really biodegradable if it takes 6 months? Compostable? No. I don't want to have 6 months worth of cat litter bags accumulating in my trees in the backyard at any given time. That's gross the stuff inside of them breaks down almost immediately. So I'm basically composting plastic. So I'm going to have to come up with another solution. I suppose theoretically you could find a way to make it work, but what this type of breakdown schedule is designed for is commercial composting outfits. So these aren't designed to be composted in people's backyards. They're put in big lots in places where they add things to it, and I don't know how that all works. So the trick would be to get a biodegradable plastic that is also listed as compostable, because it's scheduled to break down much faster. So while these are probably a really good option for anybody who has to or is throwing animal waste in the regular trash, because it will eventually break down. Well, hopefully. Didn't actually test it for 6 months. I'm not gonna run this for 6 months, but if you're not composting in your backyard, I would say this is a viable product, because it's a lot cheaper than the plastic bags that break down within, start breaking down within about a week after you start using them. So I'm not going to recommend this for composting, but I would recommend it overall for landfill, if that makes any sense, or if you're sending it to professional composting. But I would check and see what they take as far as what their standards are for time frame of breaking down, what their requirements are, because these hold on for 6 months, and that's just gross, because it's gross. So there you have it. That's my review of the dog poop bags. Again, people have cats. There are not just dog owners in this world, so don't people need to scoop litter boxes? Are you just assuming that we don't use bags for them? So I don't know what I'm going to do. The individual bags are super... Why did I touch that again? The individual bags are super handy, but not if they hang around forever. So I hope this was useful. I hope I didn't gross you out too much, because I definitely grossed myself out, and I am going to put bleach or the equivalent on everything in the entire area here. But thanks for watching, and if you want to see more of these videos, do remember to hit subscribe, and as always, keep it real and keep it wild.